Good nerve, Yontif, everyone. What an amazing Sukkot it's been. My first Sukkot here in Eretz Yisrael. It's been something amazing. We'll talk about all of its pieces maybe some other time. I just want to share an idea for Shmini Atzeres in Eretz Yisrael, Shmini Atzeres Simchas Torah in America. Do we have to wonder what is Shmini Atzeres? We know that the Medrash tells over the very beautiful parable of the fact that there was a king that made a party and he invited all of his subjects. And for 7 days he was rejoicing with all the subjects. And he was so busy with his kingdom, he didn't have a chance to really pay attention to those closest to him, to his family members. And he told them, listen, stay with me one more day, and we'll just grab whatever's there. We'll just take whatever food is around, right? Whatever there was all kinds of delicacies that were served to the people. But we'll grab a little bit of leftovers. We'll take a little bit of what's there, and we'll just make our own little party, just you and I. And that's the way Shmini Atzeres is seen. For 7 days we've been offering 70 sacrifices for all the nations of the world. We've been so busy with the nations of the world, so busy with offering prayers, with bringing the world together. God turns to us and he says, it's hard for me to see you go. Equally me od yom echad. Stay with me one more day, because it's so hard for me to watch you leave. Stay with me one more day. What a beautiful understanding of the holiday that this Shmini Atzeres is all about. Stay with God for one more day. After the whole holiday season, 50 days, is 60 days almost from the beginning of Elul and all the things that we've gone through. Just think about ourselves at the beginning of Elul and think of where we are now, and think of all the things that have transpired. It's been really amazing, off the charts. It's awesome. But God says, stay with me one more day. Stay one more day. We'll have a little celebration together. And the parable is beautiful. The concept is amazing. But the question, of course, that you have to ask is that what does one more day have to do, is going to do with it? What's one more day going to change? No, when you come to the last day of your home visiting your parents, your home visiting with your family, you have your children in your house, and then comes the last day, and you say, oh, if we only had one more day. Now, what was one more day going to do? Because the next day, you're still going to be sad, you're still going to be crying, and you're still going to feel that awful hole when they leave the void. So what's one more day going to do? Why doesn't God just say, look, Yontif is over. It's been awesome. Kish and Kepler, I'll see you next year. I'll see you next Yontif. Why this concept of equally od yom echad? Stay with me one extra day. Because what is Hoshana? What is Shmini Atzeres? So let's look back at Hoshana Rabbah. Hoshana Rabbah today was the end of the end of Yom Kippur. We say this is the final sealing. It was sealed on Yom Kippur, and the Elah, everything was sealed, but the final shot was done on Hoshana Rabbah. What does that mean? So I think maybe what it means is this. At the end of Yom Kippur, we turned to God and we said to him that I want to be a different person. Yehi Rasa may be you will Hashem that Shlech Ta'od, that I don't sin anymore. I just want to be a different person. So God responds to us and he says, okay, fine. Yom Tov is over. Yom Kippur is over. Now begin to start your new environment. Begin to build your new environment. That's why we take out the sukkah. We start to build the sukkah. Motzai Yom Kippur. Because we're starting to build a new environment. And then God says, okay, now enter into that environment. And I want you to do everything different. I want you to eat differently. I want you to invite all the guests into the house with you. We don't do that the rest of the year. I want you to change your environment. I want you to daven differently. We usually don't hold things in our hands when we daven. I want you to hold on to things. I want you to leave your house. I want you to go into this special place. And then by changing your environment, by changing all that up, so then you now can make those changes that you wanted to make. You can now become that person that you wanted to become. 7 days later, on Hoshana Rabbah, Kodesh Baruch Hu looks and says, let's see how you're doing. Let's judge you and see where it's going. Are those changes starting to take place? Have the roots started to grow in the ground? Have they started to do something? Have they started to sprout? Has all those desires, all those hopes, all those dreams that you had about becoming a different person, are they beginning? That's Hoshana Rabbah. And then God looks at us and says, it's so hard for me to see you go back to who you were, to see your preda, to see your leaving and going back into the world, not having those changes last. So stay with me one more day. And on that one more day, ikvui mi. Stay with me. Let that one day be all about me. No shtick, no lulav, no esrog, no sukkah, no toys, no symbols. Just stay with me. Stay with the Torah. Stay with what's essential. Stay with what your whole life is all about. And if you hold on to this, if you take this Torah with you, then there will be no preda. Equally me, because it's hard for me to see you go. It's hard for me to see you be to this preda. It's hard for me to watch that. I don't have to watch that. It doesn't have to happen. There doesn't have to be any preda. Because if you stay one more day, just lock it all in. Just understand that that's the direction you have to be going. That's what you have to be holding on to. It's all about the Torah. So then there won't be any preda. There won't be any separation. What's the gadlus of Simchas Torah? It's not the ending of the Torah. It's not just the ending of the Torah. But it's the fact that we're starting again. Because a Jew always moves forward. A Jew never stays in one place. It's not about finishing. It's about starting again. We find in the Mishkan that many of the measures are half measures. 1.5, 2.5. And the reason that they're half measures is to remind us that we're never done. And that there's always more to do. There's always more to go. Because it's always about what's going to be, not just about what was. Pachad Yitzchok brings down a story of two Talmidim, two students of the Chidush Arim. Both of them were Talmidei Chachamim. Both of them were dancing on Simchas Torah with such energy and with such love. The Chidush Arim points to the two of them and he says that one is going to tire out before that one. The Kachai, and that's the way it was. One of them tired out, petered out long before the other one. The Chidush Arim explained, you know how we knew that? Because one of them was dancing with the fervor and the simcha and the energy of all the Torah that he had learned up until now. For one, it was a siyum, it was a conclusion. But the other one was dancing not because of what he had accomplished, but he was dancing with the inspiration of what this environment, of what being connected to the Torah was going to motivate him to be able to do in the future. The second one was dancing with the knowledge that if he holds on to this Torah, look at where it's going to take me. Look at what I could become. Look at where I could go. There's a big difference. Because if you look at the Torah that you learn, there's a gvul, there's a boundary. But when you look forward, there are no boundaries. When you look forward, it's endless. You could accomplish anything. And that's what we have to ask ourselves in Simchas Torah. How are we dancing? Are we dancing with our feet? Or are we dancing with our souls? Are we dancing for Torah that we've accomplished, that we've finished, that we completed? Dancing for the Torah of the past? Or are we dancing for what we're going to be in the future? That if we hold on to this Torah, this is what we're going to be. The joy of the realization that this is the opportunity I have. This is the people that I'm a part of. This is the world that I live in. I live in that world of Torah, and how lucky I am. Ashrei Yish, how lucky I am to be able to live and exist in that world. For many people, Simchas Torah is just a chance to let off a lot of steam, a chance just to sing and to dance, and many people don't even like it. Singing and dancing. Sweating up. I hate that. No, let yourself go. You're not dancing for you. You're dancing to make sure that this year is going to be awesome. And that the blessings that Rebbeinu Shalom has for this year are going to come showering down on you. Because you're going to put yourself in an environment of blessing. You're dancing for the opportunity, for the advantage, for the great gift of being part of the nation of Torah. And of having Torah in your life. And that if you can connect yourself to that Torah, ikvu imi od yom echad. If we connect ourselves to God for one more day, kasher lepedaschem, there won't be any separation. From this point on, the trajectory is up, high, fast and furious. And what we can accomplish this year can be something beyond our wildest dreams. We asked God for it. He delivered it to us. He gave us the tools. He gave us the way. And now it's up to us to grab onto it and to use it to be able to soar above our own lives. Everybody should have a beautiful, amazing, awesome, incredible, intense Yontif. We should be zochet to many blessings. And we should all see a year that's filled with the Birchas Hashem. Yontif.